If you've got a teenager at home and you run your own limited company, there's a good chance you're leaving money on the table. You can legally put your child on your payroll, reduce your tax bill, and give them some real work experience at the same time. But, and this is important, HMRC are watching. So you need to do it properly. Here's what you need to know, and here's how to do it and be successful. So the first question I get asked, is this really legal? And the answer is yes, it's perfectly legal. HMRC totally allows it, but only if the work is genuine. That means your child has actually got to do a real job, something you'd reasonably expect to pay another person to do in your business. The moment it looks like you're just shifting money to avoid tax, HMRC will step in. They call this income shifting. And the consequences are that you'll be paying back taxes, interest, and potentially penalties for getting it wrong. So the golden rule here is real work, fair pay, and keep proper records all the way through. That will see you safe. So what about working hours? How often and when can they work? Now there's some real strict rules on how many hours your child can work, and they depend on their age. For 13 and 14-year-olds, during term time, it's a maximum of 12 hours a week that they can work. In the school holidays, that goes up to 25 hours a week. When they become 15 or 16, the holiday limit increases to 35 hours a week, but the term time week hours stays the same. There's also restrictions on the type of work that they can do too. Nothing that puts their health, safety or education at risk can be done. And finally, depending upon where you live, your local council may require you to apply for a child employment permit before they start work. So it's a good thing to do to check with your council before you start employing your child that it's okay to do in your area. So how much can you pay your child? Okay, so there's some flexibility here and people often get this wrong. The national minimum wage doesn't actually apply to under 16s. So you've got some flexibility about the amount that you pay them. But the pay has still got to be proportionate to the amount of work their age and the work that they do. So you can't pay, for example, a 14-year-old £50,000 to expect to do the filing and expect HMRC to be fine with it. So a useful benchmark here is maybe use the minimum wage for under 18s, which in 25-26 is £7.55 an hour. And if you start around there for straightforward tasks, I think that's reasonable and defensible if HMRC come knocking. Keep a timesheet, record every hour worked, and pay them into a bank account in their own name. Not your name, not a joint account. That makes a real difference in HMRC's eyes. A payment to your child's account is evidence of genuine employment. Cash in hand or money that actually never leaves your control is not. So what are the tax benefits of doing this? How does it all work and why is it tax efficient? So this is where it gets interesting from a business perspective, because your child has their own personal tax-free allowance and it's exactly the same as yours, £12,570 a year. So if their earnings stay below that, they pay no income tax whatsoever. And under 16s also don't pay national insurance. Neither do you as the employer for them either. So it's savings all around. So the salary is a deductible business expense, saving you corporation tax, whilst being efficiently tax-free in your child's hands. Win-win all round. So that's a genuinely efficient outcome when it's done correctly. And that's the key, do it correctly. So let's talk about admin and how we run the payrolls around that. So you will need to run this through your payroll properly. Add them to your PAYE scheme. Use the national insurance category of X, which is the code for under 16s where no national insurance applies. Report their earnings to HMRC as you would any other employee. And when they stop working for you, issue a P45. Now, of course, if we're running your payroll, we will do all that for you. Keep a written job description, log their hours, and pay the money directly into their own bank account every time. Never through cash, never through your own account. That paper trail is your protection if HMRC ever ask any questions about how that you've employed your child. So done properly, employing your child is a smart move, both for you, your business, and for them. They get real work experience, they earn their own money, and they pay no tax on it. You get a genuine business deduction and an extra pair of hands to help around the workplace. But cut corners, don't get the payment amount right and pay over the odds, or skip the paperwork, and it can get expensive fast. If you want to set this up correctly and make sure it holds up to scrutiny with HMRC, speak to your accountant before you start doing anything.